What is up, Bronco Nation, and all our other fans out there?
Sports enthusiasts.
Anything else we talk about on this podcast, enthusiasts. Welcome. Thanks for joining us for episode 8 of the Shirts and Skins podcast. I'm Matt Lamb, accompanied by none other than Brandon Meinert and Mark Moss.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
All right, well, let's get started.
Day after the game.
Okay. You know.
About 24 hours, yeah.
Some of us may need a little pick-me-up.
We just talked about that.
Some, I don't know, may need something to get rid of headaches. I don't know.
Okay. Maybe.
You didn't grab a caffeinated drink?
Not today.
It's too late?
It's maybe getting a little too late. Got something else.
You good?
It's sweet. I'd probably be okay, but
I could drink caffeine. I can go to bed. I just can't stay asleep.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Sometimes it's fine. Sometimes it's not. Monday's always a big day for me at work, so got to sleep well at night.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, a lot to talk about today. A lot to get through. We know there's a lot of feelings swirling around in Bronco Nation world. We're going to get to those. We're going to tell you our thoughts on the game, what we saw, what we felt, what we think. We're going to give you our 2 cents on that. But first, let's get to
friend of the show.
Do we have a friend of the show update?
So friend of the show last week absent, right?
Yeah. We had a substitute friend of the show.
We had a substitute, and we were okay.
Yeah.
Which was solid. Friend of the show did get back to the show. As I expected, he was on a 12-night in a row night shift as an ER doctor. Just missed it. That said, had the game on, watched the game. Brother of the friend of the show correctly predicted the game, pretty much. Not quite on the score, but, he kind of laid out what he thought was going to happen. A lot of that happened as far as some of the things. So we did get some interaction with the friends of the show.
But nothing new for today.
Nothing new for today. Yeah.
Maybe in a bout of depression.
I wouldn't be shocked. I haven't, you know what? I kind of hunkered down. I talked to you guys yesterday. I haven't had a lot of communication with some of the others.
Why?
I don't know. It was a tough game.
You've gone through losses before.
Who would some of those others be, just so we know?
Oh, so we've talked about the group chat before.
Yeah. How is that going, by the way? So I'm not a member of it.
Right. I think
for the record,
outside of Brandon and I, they've moved on from Boise State
They
football.
don't care about Boise State.
And this started for 8 years straight, and it was primarily Boise State football.
Yeah.
And honestly, as time has gone on, but this year they're so on.
Well, there was the Ryder Cup was going on.
Ryder Cup was going on.
And so I was texting about that.
Day one.
I was texting about that quite a bit.
It's a tough weekend to be a sports fan around here, unless you're European. But so I don't know, and I got a couple other buddies. I don't think I wasn't in the mood to talk. To be honest, but
a lot of negativity.
Yeah, and so sometimes it's better just to.
Yeah, so we're here a day after the game. We've slept on it. Mm-hmm. We've let the thoughts kind of swirl around in our minds, and now we're here, ready to discuss. So no friend of the show updates, no input from him.
Can I just jump into Moss's tweet? His last.
I was going to hit Twitter as well. So you go.
I'm just going to throw Moss.
Go to Twitter.
I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it because this is how Moss felt.
You can't hold him back, Mark. Once Brandon is ready to go, he'll go.
I quote. This is Mark. I hate this. Okay?
What is
this? This is Mark. No, this is right after the game.
Probably less than an hour after the game.
This is after the game. This is Mark. He's in a tough spot. He's in a rough spot. I hate this. I hate all of this.
Hey, come on.
A lot of hate. Okay.
I didn't read this
I hate
tweet.
this.
Go ahead.
I hate all of it. Hate it for TG. Hate it for AA. Hate it for the play. A lot of hate. A lot of hate going around this one. Hate it for the players that no doubt want this really bad, but it's just not working. And this is year 3. I don't know what else to say about it. So Mark's going to leave the podcast now because he said everything.
Is this breaking news, Mark?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
I'm just kidding.
I think that shows Mark's love, though, because if you don't love something a ton, you're not going to hate it. And yesterday's game was one to hate.
That's true.
A lot going on.
We'll get into that. We were going to start.
We will get into it.
Do we have a few more comments?
Yeah, we got. So Yeah. Some repeat commenters that we got one that reached out on YouTube, Derek Hansen, asking if we're going to roll through with this into the basketball season. And I would say there may be a lot more positives to talk about.
It might be funner. To sit around here and talk. I don't know, man. Brandon's way into basketball.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I got season tickets.
Oh, you did?
For my office. So,
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I love when we're winning.
Yeah.
We might, though, right? We haven't really talked about it.
Yeah. We haven't finalized
But we're having
it
fun doing this, so we'll see.
Yeah, we have other jobs. This is not our main source of income. Right?
I figured the people that listen to this know us, and so they figured that. They know that.
If you've listened to this and have heard how many sponsors we have,
yeah,
we're not making money from it. Anyway, we had another comment, second friend of the show, Russ, Solid Pod Boys. If you need me for any hot takes next week, I will be holed in a bunker studying film of the pistol offense with Chris Alt.
All right.
Nevada, former head coach.
A lot of
Chris
references.
That may no longer be applicable.
Yeah.
Taylen was in the pistol a couple times.
Yeah, no, they run the
use
pistol
it
quite a bit. Yeah.
But
we're going to have to talk about that.
Are we? Oh, so how many more do we got?
So I wanted, maybe we'll get into it.
Okay.
Once we hit on this topic.
Okay, because I was going to say.
It wasn't a, hey, your podcast is awesome type comment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What you got?
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to tell you how I'm ready. So whenever you're ready, let me in. I'm ready. Like, tag me in. I'm ready.
Brandon is the buck and bronco with the gate closed.
I'm just ready to go.
He is
Open
rearing
it up.
to go.
Open it up. Whenever you're ready to open it up, you can open it up.
There's a lot of negative stuff to talk about, obviously. We lose at Memphis, a game that so many of us felt we should have won.
35-32.
We should have won, 35-32.
You know, there was an interesting stat. You can keep going. That
I saw that one too. I know what you're going to say.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know what a post-game probability is.
I think it has to do with the stats of the game and how everything went.
Like, we shouldn't have won.
No, we should have won.
Or we should have won.
Should've.
Yes, sorry.
And
we should have
won. Of the
won.
65 games in the country, we were like the third, how the game
probability-wise.
Probability-wise.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're right. Matt's right. We, statistically speaking, we should. It's a very winnable game.
Statistically speaking, I mean, there's a lot of other ways to say it.
Where do 85-yard block field goal returns go in the stats?
Okay. Hey.
Because I didn't see that. That's not accounted for, obviously, in the stats. Like, that's not total yards. That's nothing. But it's a game.
We're going to start off by talking about positive.
Yes.
Because it's easy to bring negative stuff. We have criticized fans out there that are maybe a little apathetic and that are rah, let's just keep this going. Yep. Mountain West titles are good. But we're gonna stay away from the negative for a little bit. We're gonna go positive. Brandon, you got anything positive?
Yeah, I do have something positive. So going back to the reference, we had a 75% chance of winning post game analysis is what this is saying. win expectancy. Anyway,
that was your positive?
No, that wasn't my positive. Okay,
and we still have found a way to lose.
No, here's my positive. I thought the first quarter was great. And I also thought Bush Hamden called a really good offensive game. So, you go back into the first quarter, everything was working. We were pinning them deep on special teams. Our number one player.
Ferguson Reynolds.
Yeah, JFR.
James Ferguson Reynolds. Yeah.
Excuse me.
JFR is rocking it like usual, always does. Count on him. You can count on him.
I think we got a lucky call on that touchback where we brought it back in.
Yeah.
It was close.
Either way,
awesome.
We were pinning him back. We had Taylen was running. So my big worry was, okay, what he's going to do is hand it off to Jeanty, the first two downs up the middle.
Then we're going to be play.
Yeah, and then we're going to be behind the sticks. We're going to be 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, right? But I thought Hamden did great. He moved people around. He didn't just give it to Jeanty every play. Taylen got outside of the pocket, was throwing, which I thought that first throw he gave to, I thought it was Cobbs.
He rolled out and hit.
Yeah, so he hit a couple players, and I thought, he's getting outside. They're getting other people involved. The run was coming. It wasn't just, straight up the middle. It wasn't just the RPO, just right up the middle, which is what we've done a bunch, which we've seen that over the past 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. We've seen the exact same plays. So I thought actually Hamden did a really good job calling the offensive game plan throughout the whole thing. Personal opinion. Yeah, and then I thought special teams was in the first half, the first quarter was fine. I actually thought the defensive line was okay. They were really pushing it up. I thought, we couldn't tackle the quarterback. There were some huge problems doing that.
But we had a 4th and 1.
Yeah.
Where we held them.
Yeah. They start. I actually thought the way the game was going to go after the first quarter, I thought, okay, we're going to start because the quarterback was looking deep in the first quarter a couple times and then decided to check down, which in my opinion, I thought, hey, wow, this is new. This is super new. So this is great. So they were holding them, and I thought, okay, so we're going to go up 20-some points. They're going to start throwing, not making as much third downs, and then we're going to run the ball more with Jeanty, and then we're just going to win by 14 or 17 points by the end of the game. Like, that's how I thought it was going to go based on how the first quarter had happened. And I thought, this is a really good way to play it because you got a lead, you nurse the lead, your running back gets stronger and your offensive line gets stronger throughout the game. Taylen starts running a little bit more, and it's working, and we should be just fine. And then the last 3 quarters until about 4 minutes left, everything went wrong. After that, I think once we stopped scoring, those 2.5 quarters was about as bad as it could go.
Yeah, so, and it's like once it shut off hard.
Yeah. So anyway, but that was my positive.
Yeah. So, Mark, positives for you?
So tough one. I was I was at a soccer game. Okay, so I was listening
your
to
daughter's soccer game. So that's allowed. That's
had to be there. But for the beginning, so positive. Bob Beeler calls a good game on the radio. Okay, I'd never really listened to any. I thought he does a good job. Got a good voice for it. I got home and turned it on just as we were going up 17-0. So it was mid-second quarter.
Which we really should have been. It should have been 3 touchdowns.
We had a first and goal and didn't score, I heard.
I mean, that catch.
I don't know what happened there.
The defensive lineman, he tried to catch it into his body instead of like literally just go up a little bit.
Hit?
I mean, it was a bad one.
Beeler made it sound like he got hit.
He hit it out of his hands.
Yeah, at the back of the end zone.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So
Taylen slipped.
Taylen slipped.
It didn't have the zip on it.
But still, he could go up for it. Like, that was a mistake on the receiver. There was a mistake on the receiver.
More slipping issues.
Yeah, that's true.
So you know what? I didn't have. So I got, I got back and saw the touchdown.
You only saw the bad thing.
Then it went downhill. So I can't. I
mean,
I wished I did. I like said, Beeler sounded good on the radio. It sounded like the defense started out great.
Mark's positive is Bob Beeler, which is good. Bob's good.
He's good.
He didn't play in the game, though.
So Oladipo started good from what I could hear.
No,
I was planning on going back and watching it, but then it just went so bad, I just couldn't pull myself to do it. So, but
first
honestly,
quarter was
from
probably
that
the best
point
we played.
on, how much positive was there?
No, there was. Well,
from
Madsen.
17. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
But obviously, I don't know. Well, we're going to get into that in a little
I thought it was
bit,
a positive that they made the switch.
Yeah.
We can talk about that, but I thought it was really positive they made that switch.
Yeah, I think, you get really upset and frustrated with a coaching staff that isn't trying new things. And
That's
for
a
me,
tough decision.
I texted both of you because I was like, this game is kind of all over the place. And so when I said, okay, here we go again with Mad Dog, it was like we didn't really have a clear plan. And Brandon, you're like, hey, I like it because we're trying new stuff. And it obviously was the right call at that point.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I like that. I liked Mad Dog, what he did. He threw it really well. And you could say they were in prevent defense or in a softer coverage.
His very last drive. They absolutely.
And so maybe those weren't open for.
I don't know.
Maybe they weren't open for Taylen. But yeah, he connected and drove the ball. Jeanty smashed that guy to get in the end zone.
Still great.
Jeanty's still a beast. He's gonna run people over, and so that's still positive. Jeanty's all-purpose yards. Punting was great. Obviously, we bring that up every episode.
Oh, I'll give you a positive.
Yeah.
Billy Bowens had a good game.
Billy Bowens caught some passes.
Billy caught some passes.
Prince had a few catches.
Yeah. Cobb's had a couple drops, but there were more guys involved.
Cobb's had a
Catching the
couple
ball,
drops.
seemed like.
What about Louder?
Cobb's having a
Louder, the tight end.
Yeah,
dude,
3
we
or 4
finally
catches.
threw it.
Anytime you get tight ends involved, it's exciting
like it
and
around
people
here.
like it, and
Yeah.
it went for a lot of yards.
What did you?
So that was positive.
What did you? I'm gonna do it.
Go ahead.
Are we
what'd you
flipping
think?
this?
Yeah. Well, what'd you
We're
think
going
about
negative.
the 4th and 1?
Well, So I even said it before it even happened. I think I texted you. I think I texted you guys. I did. When it was the commercial timeout. And it was like, you got to go for it. You have to go for 4th and 1.
I think we're all on the same page.
I think, and obviously, hindsight's 2020. I read that Memphis hadn't returned a blocked field goal since 2006. The chances of that happening are so small, and it was like just the worst case scenario. But
I think
take that aside. The decision there is you have Jeanty, I think he's number 1 in the country in all-purpose yards.
Okay.
And you don't trust him to get a yard. Or Taylen. You don't trust
7 feet tall.
Yeah, I mean, we don't trust our guys enough to go get 1 yard. Was really frustrating. And then obviously when that happened and they scored, I mean, they had the momentum in the second quarter, and then we were doing okay. We get down there, that happens, and then our defense was completely.
Did you hear why Avalos did it?
That. I heard him. I heard what he said, and it made no sense to me.
I agree.
Credit to BJ and Jordan.
They
put the pressure on, and it was one after another. And Avalos seemed like he was reeling a little bit, kind of like.
Well, come on, man. He's like, we're waiting to get a look. We didn't get it. We kicked it.
And so what does that mean?
What you don't control your offense.
Yes.
You control the formations you're putting in. You control. They're going to give you a look, and you run a play around that look. Right?
That was such a bad explanation.
And doesn't each play have option A, B, and C?
Well, potentially, but they called a time at tight end.
They called a timeout.
Yeah. And you're like, well.
So they didn't get the look. Okay, I'm fine. You called a timeout. You didn't get the look you were thinking. Well, then figure it out. You got 2.5 minutes to figure it out. You got Jeanty. You got whatever.
Yeah.
And even if they don't do it.
They're on the 10.
They're on the 10 or inside the 10. You're up 3. But, I mean, obviously the way that
because we were up 17-14 still at the.
We were up 3.
3 points.
It was a 10-point
and then they
swing.
went and scored. And then they didn't. I don't think we stopped them again.
And the argument is, what good does it do going up 6? It's more points, obviously.
Right. You're late third quarter.
You're still a touchdown for them wins it. An extra point.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I didn't agree with it at the time. And we said it before it happened. And then
surprising call. I just wonder the criticism of the coaching. I mean, because going into that game, believe it or not, I was really starting to get on the Andy Avalos train.
What happened?
Yeah.
Good. Tell us about it.
Yeah, let me tell you.
Tell us about it.
What? You before the game?
No. After.
It was kind of final straw. After the game's different for sure. But I just really feel like Carson killed us.
Really?
I do. I really feel that way. I just feel like so that everybody's clear. I think the coaching has been horrendous these last 3 years. As far as developing the players that they have on the field at the time and putting them in the best position. But I just think Carson was not a good, I think he just drove it. He was like a guy that goes into a company and just squeezes everything out and then leaves.
Yeah, even including the fun, right? Sucking the fun out of it.
And just like, you're not really building it. You're just getting as much out of it as you can. And then you leave. And so I thought, maybe give him some more time. Just give him a little bit more time to develop it, and he's got young guys in there, and then you just think, dude, that's are winnable games, man. These are winnable games with the people that you got.
We could be 4-1.
We could definitely be 4-1.
And to that point, if you
we probably should be.
Well, the UCF game, we were in position to win it, but
multiple
statistically
times.
Speaking, we probably should have been.
At home, come on, at home.
No, we should have won that game, but they dominated the game. We got kind of, nonetheless. What I'm getting at here is that we had late in the fourth quarter on both those games, our defense on the field, them backed up at least 75 to 80 yards.
Yeah.
And in UCF, we let them go down there and get the field goal. In this one, they took off a ton of time and scored. And it's like the defense cannot get off the field.
What do you think about that?
I don't know.
Is it not the right guys? Because Danielson has coached defenses in the past that were
and he's turned down
like
how
fifth
many
in the country?
big time offers supposedly. I went, in fact, today I went and I looked at our DBs, and I went on to the 24/7 Sports app or website, and I was just curious.
I love that you do this, dude.
Dude, I was curious.
So good.
I said, who are these guys? Because we're talking, is it coaching? Is it players?
Yeah.
Every single one of our, and I went down the list. Oladipo,
Washington,
all of them.
Robinson.
Reed, all of them. And I said, well, who are these guys? Like, what were they coming out of high school? And that doesn't really matter, but I was more interested. I just wanted to see who else offered them. The only DB that's playing right now, what's the safety's name that
Robinson?
No,
They
didn't play.
Oh.
Tubner. Okay. So we know Tubner was walk-on, okay?
Yeah.
Other than him, all of them had multiple Power 5 offers except for Kaniho.
Okay.
So Kaniho had a Hawaii offer and a Boise State offer. His brother was here, so maybe would have got more interest, But everyone else playing has, and some of them are big, not just Pac-12, but like some big-time offers. There was a Louisville in there. There was a Georgia Tech offer. There was several. So it's like these guys were being evaluated by a lot of big-time schools as really good players. And there's just no, and I'm not bad. I don't like bashing on anybody.
He's bashing.
Objectively speaking, we're the bottom few in the country.
In what?
In
defense.
Okay. Total defense and yards given up passing. So tell me what that is. Is it these kids that
No,
all these Pac-12 schools wanted? Or is it the coaching that they're receiving? Or a combination of both? I don't know. But they're not all walk-ons. They're guys that have talent.
Yeah.
And
how funny is it?
They're not,
But how young are they?
Does that matter?
Some of these guys are 3 years in the program.
Yeah.
And I don't want to name them all, but you can figure it out. But like some of these guys are, maybe they're sophomores, but they redshirted. There's a freshman
What's
year.
Benefield, though?
Year. He's a true freshman.
Yeah.
And
Oladipo's played, though.
Oladipo's played a lot.
Robinson's played.
Does it matter how young you are if you're
lot.
still chasing behind the receiver on a deep ball?
So I don't know. Brandon, you play
still
football.
happens.
It happens multiple times a game.
Yeah.
How?
You expect when they throw the ball and it goes out of the screen, you expect our
Us to
guys
be
to be
chasing
running behind, like not just running with,
No.
running a couple yards.
Yeah. Never with them to just knock it away.
It's
It's always like,
it's
oh, crap.
fascinating.
Oh,
So
crap.
how does this happen? Like, what is going on?
I've already said it. That one thing you can take away. You can put your guys. The crazy thing about defense, you can start 50 yards behind them.
Oh,
you could back up as long as you want.
Did you see the broadcast? So it was who got beat? It was Clark? He got beat deep up the left sideline.
Yes, that's
and
right
then the
when I
next
got
play,
there.
we gave him like a ton of cushion.
Oh,
Reed
and
gave
they,
him
like-
cushion.
Yes.
And then they scored on that because they're like, you can't, back off that far.
Well,
and
I'm
it's
just
like,
saying,
in the
like
red zone, yeah.
in the red zone, yeah.
Right. But it's like we backed off at the wrong
We
time.
have to have given the most long passing plays in the country, right?
I haven't seen.
Passing plays
it's
over
not surprising
over 20
anymore.
yards. No, it's not surprising. And in
But
fact,
what is going on there?
I don't know what's going on. To me that there's a few things you can fix, and one of them is like offsides and technical stuff you can fix pretty easily. And deep ball, like not letting get behind you, is not that hard to fix, because then they start throwing it, and now you got to tackle. That's a little bit harder. But you create the scheme to say nobody's going behind us. That's not hard. I don't understand that. And if they're saying, oh, we play this defense and that's our best defense. Well, look, dude, it's not working. You're not doing it right. And so that is fascinating.
The crazy thing is, what I'm not seeing is like we're up on the line, we're press coverage, and they're beating us. It's like we're back.
Yeah.
We're not way back, but it's not like we're getting beat with press coverage.
I don't know.
We're just like they're coming at us. We're not redirecting, and then we're chasing.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't know. It's
I don't know.
Literally letting them go straight past. It's fascinating. That part's fascinating. I guess I don't understand. Oh, I don't know. I guess I don't understand some of the coaching issues that we've had. I mean, that was really bad. Although you got to give it to him that Taylen threw that deep ball. The last play that he was in, he threw that deep ball out of the end zone. It was probably at 30 yards. And it wasn't even close. Like probably.
No. And the announcer said that was the right thing to do. I guess that way you don't run the risk of getting an interception.
No,
but
well,
it was not close to anybody.
You got to throw it to at least in the area of the receiver, right? And I think the coaches saw he can't throw it.
Dude, every time. Okay, I'll start this with I really like Taylen.
Yeah,
he's a great
good
player,
guy.
has a ton of talent.
Yeah, good
and I
guy.
do think he should be our starting quarterback.
Do you?
I do
Okay.
think that.
Okay.
Now I get if others think differently. But when I see him throw a deep ball, I think it's just to heave it and pray.
Yeah.
Like his eyes are closed and he's just chucking it. And when you see
Yeah.
that ball go up, it's kind of like, this is not even going to be close.
He's throwing, he threw every ball off his back foot. Like, did you guys notice that? Like, I noticed that quite a bit.
I felt the one that got so defensive lineman that dropped the pass in the end zone. Taylen obviously was back foot because he was slipping. But there were a couple other ones where he was back foot and it just didn't have the zip on it. And it hit the receiver's hands, but it got batted away.
Sure.
And it's like if it had a little more zip on it, I think they catch it.
My thing is, he threw that ball. We all thought, wow, that was odd. We punt. And I think Bush, or I'm assuming Bush was like, hey, we got to get him out. He can't do it.
Wasn't even close.
Got to get him out. And then Madsen comes in and you get this spark for the receivers. They feel like, hey, I can get the ball now. Yeah, that's a big deal, man. And if you can have a running back with Jeanty that can get yardage, maybe a really good opportunity for Madsen to get a significant amount of playing time. Also, hey, shout out to Brandon. Can we just say it?
Brandon, you're talking yourself.
Me.
Third person. Okay.
Me.
You.
Okay, yeah. You called for it.
Yes, I did. I called for it, and I loved it.
Okay.
I love that.
Well, I posted it on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
I mentioned our good buddy Jalen Henderson.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And he responded.
Henderson didn't, yeah.
And so I was like, what do you think about this? Because he was part of a 2-quarterback system.
Yeah.
And he says...
This is before the game. This is before this game. This is after last game.
Yeah, and he's just saying like, hey, play your number 1. The number 2 should be ready. But he says, makes me believe that it's way too early to have any quarterback conversation.
Yeah.
Whoops. I believe in Andy Avalos and know that a lot of stuff is done by design. A lot of times some have no idea and are quick to jump to conclusions/solutions.
Sure, that's fine.
I would be interested to see what he had to say. Like if we called him up right now and said, hey, do you want to clarify these comments after this game? I'd just be interested.
Yeah.
Because
I think we could have a throwing quarterback, and we could get that because I think the receivers are fine. I think our receivers are as good as any receiver.
Mad Dog made those receivers look really well.
Yeah, that's
he
what
made
I'm
them
saying.
look good.
If you can throw it, and he can throw it across the middle, he can throw some different routes. Then you have Jeanty. I mean, that's an offense that you can win around.
Is it a similar situation last year? Remember the O-line was so bad with Hank. Hank leaves, and all of a sudden the O-line looks fine.
Yeah.
With Taylen, right?
Yeah.
Is that a similar situation now with the receivers where there's drops and they're not getting separation, and now Mad Dog's in, all of a sudden the receivers look good?
I think the receivers can only run 2 or 3 routes with Taylen.
I don't think they're running different plays. I don't think Mad Dog came in and they said, we have a different offense now.
Well,
I think it's obviously more pass heavy, right? But I think the plays are the same.
I honestly think they're only going to throw 3 or 4 different routes to Taylen.
Yeah.
I mean, prove me wrong.
Early on, we had a 3rd and short. We had, I don't remember who it was on the slant route. And it was like
way behind him.
Way behind him. We get way more behind throws and way over the head.
No one can disagree with that.
Yeah.
So you said you think Taylen Green should be our, and I'm not. I'll share my opinion in a minute. But why do you think that? You think Taylen Green should be our starting quarterback?
Look, I'm a big fan of Mad Dog. And typically, I am a fan of the backup quarterback. When Tharp and Zabransky were together, I loved Tharp. I was like, because Zabransky would make wild, interception throws, and it was like, come on. I think Taylen should be in there because I know you guys are just ready to blow this up, but
no, I'm not.
I think he got us there last year. I think the system doesn't fit with what we're like getting him to be a pocket passer. We ran the ball. He ran the ball, right? The first play of the game. And then after that, how many times did he run it?
He ran a couple times, dude. He did.
Yeah.
I think you have to be able to throw. They can't roll him out on every pass. Like they can't just get him out of the pocket on every single one.
Yeah.
He has to be able to throw, and he's not. He can't throw it.
It's funny because I have in my notes counter arguments for this, but I really do think, and maybe it's because I'm trying to come to terms with why I feel this way, and maybe it's a feeling of the team kind of disintegrates because we've established this foundation where Taylen is the guy. He's driving the Ford F-150.
Lithia Ford is really hoping that Taylen trots out on
Saturday. and so I think there's a little bit of me that says if that puzzle piece falls, then there's some other ones that are going to fall out of place, and then it's like, oh, this doesn't feel great. But I love Mad Dog. I was rooting for him. He did awesome.
Taylen hasn't been the same since that Fresno game.
Yeah.
And one guy made a good point. Bachmeier wasn't the same since the Oregon State game.
Oregon State.
That first game. Like he
only had 3 games after that.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. I'm just saying Taylen just hasn't really done much since the last year. But to your point, all summer they practiced. He was the guy all spring. They practice. He was the guy, spring, summer, fall practice. And so switching that up is traumatizing.
Yeah.
Here's my take, and I don't know if I've made a decision, actually. I've gone back and forth. I mean, there's no doubt that when Mad Dog came in there, it just looked totally different. And guys were getting hit. And so it's like, there's value in that.
The machine was purring. It was running.
Like
and
it's
like,
like, this is what our offense is supposed to look like. So how do you turn your back on that? Here's my question is inserting Mad Dog as the starter worth 100% TG leaves after the year, 90+% Jeanty leaves?
You don't know that. You don't know that.
That's why I said 90.
Okay.
That's
90.
McAllister.
So I said 90.
So from what I understand, from what we're being told, that those Texas guys are really close.
Okay, fine. And they're roommates.
So the question is Mad Dog worth potentially, you're going to lose TG. And that's just how it is today. And if the starting quarterback loses his job, he's going to be gone. So if Mad Dog takes over starting job, we can all agree Taylen would transfer. But likelihood of Jeanty, McAllister, Breezy, Zion Washington also transferring raises. I don't know if it would happen or not, but certainly that possibility raises significantly if TG's gone.
Okay.
And so the question is, and I see both sides of this.
I have my answer to that.
Guy, okay, if Mad Dog's the guy and it runs, then we're 2-3 with those guys I just mentioned.
Yeah.
So what's the big deal? The other side is, man, we're building something. These guys that I just mentioned are all sophomores or younger, right? And do we want to risk 5 guys leaving if we're not for sure 100% positive that Mad Dog takes us to the promised land? That's the question. And there's no doubt that Avalos and them have to consider that in today's college football. It's not like it used to be. They don't have to sit out. They can leave at any time. And Jeanty could leave no matter what after this year, even, you know what I mean? Just because he's going to get some offers. But I think that is part of the conversation to at least consider. Go ahead.
I think you can consider it. They're not guaranteed to leave. I think you ignore.
I didn't say
that, right? But at the same time, you never. That's why he said 90.
Yeah. I think it significantly goes.
Sure, but you never, as a program or as a company, you never leverage the health of your overall company for the threat of 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 people. You just would never do that. Like if you ran a company and they say, well, I'm going to leave, and they're not supposed to be there, like they're not giving you the best production, you can't hold your whole team hostage or your whole program hostage. And I would never do that. I would never.
I agree, but Jeanty and McAllister.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're your best salesperson ever.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. In my opinion.
And I think too, if you keep them,
that's a good point.
We're still 2-3. So do you want to keep those guys, right? And what 5 and 7?
So who was the lady? Right. Who was the lady?
Who was that lady?
I don't know, but she was calling for like.
She's from Texas.
What I thought was so funny
don't know her.
Is when let's say it's a relative of the players.
It's someone related to Jeanty or.
So
for those that aren't following, there's a lady on Twitter that's pretty vocal about
that they
Taylen.
Should leave.
Yeah, that they very well could leave. And
I think the funny thing about that is the way she was saying it was, if you give your all and they don't appreciate you, you need to leave.
And you think,
what does appreciation have to do with it? It's like,
well, who's not appreciating? Everyone loves these guys. Like, we want.
We just want them to win.
Everyone in town wants Taylen to be the guy. I don't know a single person that's like, I want. Like, freaking look at Taylen Green, man. 6'6". He can run like a gazelle.
I just think
we want him to be the guy. You can't throw 50%, though.
Yeah.
You
that's
can't
what he did.
You can't. And it's not all receivers. That's for sure. It's not their fault.
I mean, we want you to be the guy.
Yeah.
We all want that.
Yeah, I just think the wording's hilarious. But you're going to justify it, right? And they'll say, oh, they didn't appreciate you. And you're like, no.
Yeah.
No, we want.
No, that's not true.
But it's the same thing back. Yeah, I don't know.
And I think so much you could say, and we know that there are coaching issues. We know that. But Mad Dog made it work, right? So how come Taylen?
Well, that lady was blaming it on the coaches.
Right.
Oh, yeah. She was like, she was being pushed around the pot. And I don't know why we're talking about this, but I've seen her pop up. Like, she seems to know a lot of these players. So, I don't know who
Mad Dog
she is.
have different coaches that I'm unaware of?
Yeah,
like, why can he complete a pass?
It's funny you say that, okay? Because I don't want to go down too far down.
Let's go.
Mark went deep.
We're ready to go down.
I just was talking to somebody who's involved in
Friend of the show?
No, different. Anyway, he was telling me. So does everyone know who Taylor Kelly is?
Yes. Eagle grad, played at Arizona State.
Yeah, played at Arizona State,
really
quarterback, great player. Now he's like one of those quarterback gurus. He works with a couple of the guys
like
in the
those
NFL.
Those trainings and
personal
stuff.
That's
training.
cool. Good for him.
I was told that Taylen Green started working with him 2 weeks ago.
To do what does that mean?
Just to like work on his quarterback skills. So okay. Is that true or is it not true? I don't know. But what I'm getting at is you're in the middle of the season. You had 9 months, and in the middle of the season, if this is true, all of a sudden you get a new coach to personally teach. Like
an
it just seems
coach.
like he's got a new offensive coordinator. And I shouldn't even bring this up because we don't even know if that's true. But I was told that.
If you've heard rumors, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Can you validate?
I don't think that's a big deal.
He's been working with him all summer, but it's just fine. I just think when you're in the middle of the season, it's like you're game planning for the next. Like all of a sudden you have a new guy who's going to come in and tell you like that's not in the program.
But could you also take that mark and say, here's a guy that isn't completing passes. He's reaching out to somebody that is a good quarterback and say, hey, I just want to get better.
We need something different, right? Yeah. I don't know. It struck me as if that, I don't know, that's concerning that you go outside of the program in the middle of the season. Just seems odd to start something new. Like what if but anyways, I shouldn't even brought that up because we don't know that's for sure true. But
hey, rumors, we're okay with that.
He does. It seems like he's got a lot going on. And my biggest question with Taylen is what happened? I looked at his stats from last year. He was 62%. He didn't throw a ton of touchdowns. He was like 14 TDs to 6 INTs, but he ran for 10. And it's like he's more than 10% worse. And his TD to INT ratio is 4-4. It's like, I mean, he doesn't have an NFL coach coaching him. So are we supposed to blame Bush? Or I did not say we have to blame anyone, but to see that everyone was projected, he was projected to be like a first team.
Freshman All-American last year.
He was freshman of the Mountain West.
Right.
I thought
he made a list of freshman
maybe
All-American.
third or fourth team or something. But
sure.
And everyone was projecting him to be like potentially the Mountain West Player of the Year. And he might get benched after week 5. It's like, how does that happen?
Would we be okay with a 2-quarterback system?
I think
we've seen it before.
The only issue is the last time we've seen it is Bachmeier was unhealthy, and the guy that was replacing him was a senior. Both times they were both transfer seniors.
Yeah.
And the issue that we have this time is Taylen's young and Mad Dog's young.
Younger.
Yeah, and so it's like if you have a 2-quarterback system, it's not going to work in this scenario moving past this year.
So, Brandon, you think Taylen should start the next game? I'm really on the fence.
Yeah.
I'm not. Here's what I would do, and then I want to hear what you think. Here's what I would do, and this is probably just my nature of like really wanting things to work and not. I think they should. I'd like to see him give Taylen Green one more chance, but he has to be on and just like Taylen, we love coach him up, love him up. But if it starts going the way, then you have to pull him, and once you pull him, it's Mad Dog's team.
I think you play both.
You think you just?
I think you just play both. You can start Taylen.
So we got 3 different.
Yeah, you start Taylen, and then whoever's doing better throughout the game, leave him in. I'm all right with that.
Were you guys surprised that Mad Dog got in the 3rd series of the game?
I'm telling you, I called it. No, I wasn't surprised.
Brandon
they listened to the pod.
I did. So on the radio,
Dude, some of the things that happened, I was like, they're listening to us.
On the radio,
or Brandon.
Beeler was like very adamant, like he said it multiple times. This was planned. The coaches told Beeler before the game that 3rd series is Mad Dogs no matter what.
Yeah,
so
good.
it didn't. So it was planned.
Yeah, it was.
Because Taylen was doing well.
What that does, it tells me that they're already like Avalos is saying like, oh, we're trying to build depth. The fact that you're giving you don't do that to Aaron Rodgers. You don't do that to anyone else. The fact that they did that tells me they're closer.
Yeah. Because otherwise you say we're just working on that in practice.
Yeah,
he's improving. He's doing great.
It's close. And then Avalos after the game was very non-committal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whenever you hear, we're going to watch the tape and you know which way the tape is going to go.
Yeah.
That's not good.
I still think Taylen brings a lot to our offense.
He does.
And so I think he should get a decent amount of playing time, but I also think Mad Dog should get a decent amount of playing time too. And I think that's fine. Like I know the people playing in it are going to be upset, and I know it's a difficult position for the coaching staff to be in, but it's like we could have a good offense having 2 guys.
We could.
I've never understood why. So every other position in every other sport generally does that. Yeah. I mean, basketball, football, the receivers, the running backs. Why? Obviously, there's a reason. But at this point in time, we're 2-3. I think that's the best case scenario for Taylen,
I think you could,
probably.
because that would be a difficult offense to prepare for. Because you got Taylen that can run and throw. You got Mad Dog that can throw. You can get Jeanty out. You can get your running backs out in the routes with Mad Dog. And with Taylen, you can, get around. So it's two different defenses altogether. I think that creates a complexity that could be pretty fun to watch.
I think that's what they should do. I think I mean, now that you're talking about it,
yeah,
I can see that. I mean,
I would
start with Taylen,
success.
and if Taylen's rolling, great. But maybe you just go into the week like their meetings today or tomorrow or whenever, and they just say, "This is what we're doing. Taylen, you're our starter. We love you. Mad Dog's shown enough. We're gonna go every." we're going to start first. Whatever they break it up. Mm-hmm. That's maybe the way you got to go.
You could break up.
I'm not
even
sure you totally
series.
pull Taylen yet, though.
No, not at all. And you could pull him. You could pull him for a couple plays. I mean, there's a rhythm that quarterbacks need to get into, and you see and adjust to defenses.
Like third and long, pull him. Of course, he's got the running. I mean, he's gotten multiple first downs on.
Well, you could have a lot of plays. You can even bring him in and then have both of them on the field at the same time. I mean, there's not much to lose at this point. I get the Mountain West Championship, but we all know, hey, like the way we're playing right now, we're Air Force, Fresno, Wyoming. There's a bunch of teams that are going to beat us. I think it could be interesting right there. And then if you get Holani, who's incredible at catching the ball.
It'd be so nice to have him back.
That's like a decent team. I don't know how you fix the defense. I really don't. I mean,
you outscore people.
You just outscore.
We have to.
Yeah, I think it's super.
Here's how you fix defense.
Okay.
JFR. Pin them at the one every time, man.
It doesn't
Make
work.
them go
they still
99.
They still do it. It's just how many plays is it going to take them. One thing that I was thinking about, it's a sieve. We talked about it last week. It's a sieve, right? Like that's what was a word to describe our secondary.
And they started running on us too. It wasn't just the pass. It was.
What I found really interesting was the whole controversy with Avalos' comments. We talked about it last week of we're going to run to win. It came down to Mad Dog passing, right? Like it was, and they slowed down Jeanty, but
we're going to run to win. It's 4th and 1 inside the 10.
Yeah, we're going to run to win.
Give it to Ashton.
We're going to kick.
That doesn't make any sense, man.
That whole turn of events there with the blocked kick or the blocked field goal, the score, them just kind of running away with it. Just for me, I just came to the realization, like we don't have that killer instinct.
No.
Right?
I wrote that down in my notes.
Yeah, we're not looking just to plow through you and say, look, 1 yard, we can get this. I also think, we talked about it before, the creativity. It's not there. When we played before, and again, we're 10 years removed from this, it looked like we were playing chess and the other teams were playing checkers. We would make defenses look silly because we were so far ahead of them. We would run trick plays, catch them off guard, and defensive coordinators are scratching their heads. We don't do that anymore. We're playing checkers and maybe boggle sometimes, I think. Maybe Scrabble.
So I would disagree with you on the I thought this game was really well called from an offensive standpoint. Like,
but it died. It fizzled out.
Okay, but that was more players.
2.5 quarters.
Yeah, that was more players. That was more so you could have easily just I expected them to just run up the middle over and over and over and over and over. Okay? And Hamden moved Jeanty around, and once Mad Dog got Jeanty the ball out in space. And I think that's what we needed to do, because if we were just going to line up and smash guys, we lose 7-35. I thought he called it really well. We're not going to run, triple reverse, double passes every play.
I know that.
You guys are both right, but the reality is we're not scheming anyone open anymore.
No one's totally wide open with that.
When was the last time was anyone wide open?
Yeah, dude. Look at Jeanty on that first touchdown that he scored with Mad Dog.
I was listening on the radio.
No. It was in the fourth quarter. He was open, and then he ran over
the route over
guys.
the middle.
Yeah.
I think over the middle.
Yeah, that we're scheming guys. Right. If you can't hit them, that's one thing. I thought offensively, Bush did a good job this time. Which
I didn't have any complaints about that.
Which I didn't think was the case in some of those games.
Maybe I just haven't seen, because with those trick plays, and again, I'm not saying our offense is just, hey, we need to do trick plays every series that we touch the ball. But usually you have a setup, right? You have a look, and it's like, we're going to hit this look, and then we hit you with the trick.
Yeah.
And maybe we don't have the right setup. Maybe we're not getting that through to say, oh, we can't even go to a trick play because we're not even getting the first look.
We had over 500 yards of offense.
It's awesome. I think you can sprinkle those in when you got momentum, when you're rolling, when you're doing well. and it's awesome. I thought he actually should have fake punted one of those.
Yes.
I thought that was one thing we could have done to spice it up. But, you know, I agree with you. There's not a lot of, like, heart in there.
Well, I just think there's always been this kind of magic factor of Boise State.
Yeah, that's gone.
It's gone.
Oh, gone.
And I don't see really.
Back.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No real strong attempts to try and bring that back.
I think that's fine. I think you need an explosive offense, however you get it. And we won't be good. I think we all know we won't be good until we have that.
Was it explosive enough when Mad Dog was running it?
Yeah, absolutely. And you could see the potential there. You're like, ooh, hey, if we can back the DBs up a little bit, hey, that gives us a little bit of space to run it here and there. That gives us a little bit of space here and there. You think, wow, these pieces could really work. Do you think Avalos is the guy? Yes or no?
For what?
Yeah. Finish the
What? For basketball coach. For track advisor.
To continue on this path?
Dude, I hate to say it, but he's 19 and 12.
No.
I don't think he's the guy.
Dude, I'm watching last week, Oregon, Colorado.
Okay.
I hadn't really heard of Dan Lanning before that. And you saw his videos, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, they were made for people to see.
Sure.
But he's getting his players fired up. Like, I didn't play football, or I stopped playing football at 7th grade. I wanted to go play for Dan Lanning. Like, he's a guy. I mean, they're doing fake punts. Obviously, they scored a lot of points. They had a ton of yards. We don't have that. Andy doesn't have that, like, get me pumped up factor. And I wish there was that. It's not there.
So, Brandon, you had a change of heart over the week.
I have a couple of questions. So, if Avalos isn't the guy, what do you do?
Well, okay.
You said he's not the guy.
Here's my opinion. Well, as of right now, he hasn't shown that he's the guy. He's 19 and 12.
Okay.
He's the guy. He's not my guy.
0. We've been ranked 0 times since he's been here. We have 0 conference championships. Okay. So here's for me what he needs to do. Okay. At a minimum, this is at a minimum to retain his job. He needs to win the Mountain West this year, and I already said that. He needs to win the Mountain West this year.
Do you think Dickey needs to tell him that?
I don't know. I'm very interested to see what is their conversation right now. But if he's seriously considering it, if Dickey's saying if he doesn't win, then yes, he should. I mean, he's already got a ton of pressure. He needs to win the Mountain West Championship, and then in addition to that, he needs to be able to go and explain to his boss how he's going to get this thing turned around, because he's 2-8 out of conference, 4-8, but 2 of those are FCS wins. He's 2-8 out of conference. Okay, we haven't won a championship, so yeah, maybe. So he needs to go win the championship, and then he needs to be able to. And in my opinion, there needs to be changes on the coaching staff. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not going to call for anyone's job specifically, but I think he needs to look hard at some of the problem areas. And then I also think
the DB coach.
I also think
it's one of them.
I also think that he needs to look long and hard exactly at what's successful in 2023 as far as personnel, developments versus transfer portal. And he needs to be able to talk about that intelligently to his boss, and this is how we're going to do it. But if he doesn't win the Mountain West Championship, he needs to go. Period.
You know what's scary for Avalos right now?
What's that?
Is the people that traditionally stick up for him weren't on Twitter after the game.
That's what I read, and maybe we probably follow the same people.
Traditionally, they're
like some of the power brokers in town.
Yeah.
Okay. I know who you're talking about. I think a few people.
I love Tom Scott. Tom Scott's like, think before you tweet, everybody.
I know, I saw that.
All the fans are like, shut up, dude. Like, just shut up. Like, why do you say that crap?
What do you guys think? Okay, what do you think, Brandon, about Avalos? You can't fire him right now. We all agree with that,
that's
right?
fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I really liked your plan. That was a good plan. And that's like actionable items that at the end of the year you look back and say, we spoke about this. Let's see how you did. Mm-hmm. And you can go over that's it really helps to put it out there, what your expectations are for Dickey. So I would agree with you there. Yeah. I was for Avalos coming into the game. But there just seems to be a lot of really big coaching mistakes throughout the games, throughout the seasons and I just don't see the strategy. And I think he's a nice guy. I think he's a great guy. He's probably an incredible coach, and everybody said he was for a long time. But I don't know. It's not working. Question.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to follow up with that and say he's a great guy. I don't think any of us are saying he's not a great guy. And I'm sure he's a great coach. I just don't think he's the head coach.
Question for you guys. let's take Avalos and let's throw him under the Chris Peterson coaching tree just for fun.
Well, he's under there.
Is he?
You played for him, and then he was an assistant for him.
Played for Hawkins.
All right, there you go. Yeah. Who's the best Coach Pete coaching tree product?
Ooh.
Jonathan Smith.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oregon State.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, there it is.
There we go.
Yeah, he's done a heck of a
There
job.
it is.
There's just one.
He's done a heck of a job.
Jonathan
He's
Smith
from
is
U of
the
I,
best.
right?
Yeah, he came down. I think he was the
No,
quarterbacks coach.
No.
He came from U of I to be
Yeah.
Boise State.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To be the
U of
quarterbacks
I?
coach, and
Yeah.
then was there for 1 year, and then went to Washington with Pete.
Oh, really? I didn't know he came from U of I.
I don't know if he played
What
there.
about the U of I coach?
Well, okay, Prater
Heck,
said
they're
that
winning.
Boise State isn't the best team in Idaho
He said that?
in his article.
Oh, I didn't read the article
So
yet.
the BNN right there.
I don't know if that's,
Prater's like, I don't think Boise State's the best team in Idaho right now.
that's a hard. I mean, maybe.
I've told you guys, dude, if we were to
we should
play
still
Idaho and
still
lose,
play him. I don't care. Then
you don't care, dude.
No,
You
if-
posted you hated everything, and you were like, after a loss.
Well, what? No, we
He
should
was-
play him. Sure.
Jonathan
I'd
Smith
love
was
to
a
play him.
QB coach from 04 to 09 at Idaho.
Really?
QB coach, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he
For
went to
5
Montana and then
years?
Boise State, yeah.
Yeah.
What's he
Did you
doing
see
there for
his
5 years?
milk the clock
Poor guy.
call?
What did he do? What?
He made an interesting gesture.
Let's check it out.
What was it? Oh,
Milk the clock.
I know,
Milk.
but like
He was
he
doing
just
that-
did milking.
Yeah, that would be great.
So,
No,
I mean, it
Oh,
was
he
not
went
a
the
cow.
other way.
It was not it was not an animal being milked.
What did she do?
yeah, himself, dude. Himself. You got
Wait, on himself?
Yes. It was very clear what he wanted, though.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was funny.
I mean, I guess that's one way to
saw
communicate.
that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, no,
So-
that win over Utah was impressive.
dude, he's
So-
good, man. He took Oregon State.
Yeah, he's
That's
done a great
not
job.
a great program.
But if we have to move on from Andy, then I would be very open to looking outside the family for the first
Yeah.
time. And I've always felt like to keep it in, but we've gone so far from our peak. It's time to start over if we have to go that way. What realistically is gonna what is the prediction right now for you guys? Start week 1 next year. Is Andy Avalos the coach week 1 next year?
Oh, that's a great question.
Not what you want, but realistically, what do you think?
I think yes. I think
think
it's
so?
harder to get rid of him money wise than it is to replace him.
I think it'll only be about $3 million, which
That's a lot of money
State's
for
a
us.
lot. Yeah, I think they could do it if they needed to. If the right people that weren't tweeting last night
They weren't
wanted
tweeting.
to, that's what I'm
Dude,
saying.
can I say
they weren't
too?
tweeting?
Can
They
I say
usually are very
Can I
supportive.
say too? Our fans are awesome.
I think they are awesome.
Look at Memphis, dude.
Do they have?
They didn't
They
show
had
up.
nobody
no one's at
there.
the game, dude.
Nobody was at San Diego State.
we do have
Nobody
a
was.
great- we
Our
have a
fan
great
base
fan
is
base.
awesome.
They
Yeah,
are.
we complain if it's not a sellout, right?
And we're like 1,500 short sometimes.
But yeah, we're a little bit short. It's way better than 15,000. We may be spoiled,
they were.
but we're there.
They were great, man. Memphis, nobody was there.
Yeah, and we
It was
travel
announced at
travel pretty
30?
well.
No way.
No way,
it
not
was
even
announced at
remotely
30.
close. Half of
They
that.
play
maybe.
in a 60,000. They're probably.
Oh,
It's
is that how big?
60,000.
Okay, it was
huge.
less than half.
50,000 from that, but yeah,
big.
it was bad. So sorry, I want to get back to that though. Do you think? So you think?
I
he's
think he'll be
coaching?
here just because it's difficult.
Yeah.
I think Dickey will be like, hey,
What would it take for it not to be 6-6 or worse?
Losing record.
Yeah,
I think
4
6
wins.
and 6 or worse, no doubt. Like my
Really?
personal
No
opinion,
doubt. I would say even
in my
then.
personal opinion, he needs to win the Mountain West. In realistically speaking, if he's 7-5 or above, I think he goes into next year just with a super hot.
What if
seat.
he wins
But if
4
he goes
games?
6 he's gone.
Really?
I think
Yeah.
he's.
I would say
5 and
he's still-
7 or worse, he's gone.
Really?
6-6.
I don't know.
Is right on. I really think so.
I don't know because I haven't seen. I'll be curious to know. I don't know Dickey that well to know if he would let him go or not.
We've talked so
losing
many.
record. He's gone. I guarantee that.
I don't know, man.
It's-
Dude, he's
we
gonna,
talked before about how expensive it is to be mediocre. If you're 4-8, that's a lot less
yeah,
than
but
mediocre.
you don't pay any money out of pocket.
But what are you losing
Brandon,
in?
you're worried about.
I get
the
that,
wrong
but
thing.
not getting money and paying money are two different things. And I'm not worried about either. I'm with you. I'm totally with you. I'm
But
just
do you
saying,
bleed that out over multiple years if he stays around, or do you just rip
That's
the
what I'm
Band-Aid
saying.
off
If-
and say, pay it, let's get him out?
if you were presented with the situation to say you have to pay $100,000 out of pocket or you're not going to get $500,000, it's a real world problem.
It's a real problem. I
know?
get it. Jeremiah he potentially is going to be in a really tough spot. Now we got the bingo card. We got the We heard
our goals are still in
all
reach.
our goals are. I totally called that, and we saw it from players.
All
from
the hard
coaches.
teams are out of the way.
So
they were a
but
great
that is
team.
true. Ultimately, it's true. So, but it's just there's not a whole lot going
What
on
do you
right now
think
that
when
makes
he
me think we
says
can do
when he
that.
says that's on me? That's on me. Defense is on me.
better
But what does that
than-
mean?
Does it help?
What does that even mean?
No.
Well, we criticize him for not saying something.
That's true.
So
That's true.
At least he said something. I don't know. I mean, he knows it's not. They know it's not. I don't know, man. Just
I
Dirk
just
Cutter
wish
ain't
he would-
walking through the door this year.
Yeah, I just wish you would say it with a little more energy.
Gusto.
That's just what I want, and that's not the guy, and he's not going to do it.
Did you hear that? Did you hear the D end? Hassanin. He had an interview. Really?
Yes.
From Egypt?
Yeah, man. English second language guy, really
Wow.
eloquent. But yeah, you hear these guys talk, and you're just like, you really feel bad.
Why?
You
What
know
did
what
he
I
say?
mean? He was just really emotional about it. He did talk about how much he loves the coach
Good.
and how the whole locker
Cool.
room loves coach.
Good.
And so, they're not, which I appreciate. And it's just, when you watch them on TV and they're in helmets, whatever, you see their faces, they're 19, 20-year-old kids, and they're hurting, man. 2 and 3, they know. They're not, we haven't been 2 and 3 since the mid-90s. I don't know if they know that specific
They
thing.
weren't born then.
But yeah. So it's just like, I feel for them, and I think they're trying, but it's just not working out,
Yep.
man.
No, that's not.
Ah.
Yeah. It's not working out. Hit it. Segment time. Little pick-me-up music for us. We get into the bad stuff going on. You mentioned, Mark, the bingo card for the post-game interview. Andy Avalos saying all of our goals are still in reach. We're going to be great.
We're going to grow forward.
We're going
Did
to
he say that
grow.
one?
We're going to be a really good team.
Grow forward?
Yeah.
We're going to grow.
I like that.
Grow forward is what he said?
Not this week. He said that before.
No.
Grow
Grow
back.
forward
Can you
from
grow
this.
backwards?
Apparently. Maybe you can.
Ask. Never mind. I'm going to.
Okay. We're going to do a top 5 today. Agree or disagree with me if you want. Top 5 reasons.
Are you ranking them?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm
we
just
can
going to
just
give 5 things.
We're going to agree and disagree with you.
We're just going to go along.
Okay,
I'm
let's
going
do
to
it.
start with number 5. You're going to say,
Okay.
ooh. Top 5 reasons Boise State. I edited this. I said will win, but I'm going to say gets to the Mountain West Championship game.
Top 5 reasons.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, go for it. I'm ready.
I imagine this will be received with some laughs and maybe some eye rolls.
All right,
Okay.
Because
We're
this
ready.
wasn't the easiest
Okay,
list I've
Jordan
ever
K.
put together.
Okay.
I tried to stay positive. Number 5. It just takes a little time for a new coaching staff to gel.
Okay.
So
That was the that was the number 5.
Number 5.
That was number 5. All right. To gel.
we'll get it figured. Yeah, I mean, Taylen has another new offensive coordinator, right?
That's true.
Um,
Our
So-
defensive coordinators
has been there.
Been around for 7
Okay.
years.
Okay, so maybe it's just Bush Hamden. That's the new one, right?
There's some other
The newest,
position
there's
guys
some
that are
other
new.
Agree, disagree?
I mean,
We'll get it figured
Sure.
out.
I mean, you got to keep going on the list, and then I'll see. But in my opinion, I don't know.
Number 4. Yeah, the defense is young, but we're getting better.
Okay. You're wrong.
I don't see
You're
us
wrong
getting better.
at that. I mean, you're just wrong. Like, that you're wrong.
We're not getting. Can we get better? I think we're 5 weeks.
Have
through.
we gotten better in
You're-
any facet of
You're
defense?
Have we?
I don't think so.
They've run. How many yards did they get? Like,
It wasn't horrible. It was mid 400s, I think.
The thing I've noticed with the yeah, no, it was like we held them under 500 yards.
It was under 5.
That's a win. That's a
So
win.
that's better than.
In the Bronco Nation News pregame show, I put a comment on there saying like my hot take was that we would hold them to under 500 yards, and then I was like, I'm gonna change this to make it like actually a good thing, and I think I put 450, and then I changed it to 400.
oh,
I don't think
Yeah.
we've gotten better.
We're
I
not-
don't think
the
Memphis
thing-
was not that great of a team, dude.
The
That was
thing
the
with
third
the
best team we
defense,
played.
the thing with the defense, I think we just hear different names. We're hearing a lot like Virgin,
They're trying new guys.
Right?
I got to
Yeah,
give the
you're
coaching
right.
staff credit for
Benefield.
that.
We're hearing that name,
you're right.
Yep.
but it's not
They're
names that are
trying.
like dominating. Hey,
They're trying.
I
but
want to
they're
hear
not-
Dimitri Washington getting sacks. I want to hear that.
He's such a good guy, 6-year guy, been here for a long time, but it's just
Okay, and the
Yeah,
reason number
go.
3, We do have the offensive weapons.
We do.
We've got Jeanty. We've got Eric McAllister.
100%. We need to be able to get them the ball and get
louder,
and especially if
tight ends.
I don't know why we're not getting Riley Smith the ball. That's always been. I know, right? Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, we never give the tight end the ball ever.
Riley Smith, former high school quarterback.
Yeah,
throw him in.
We do have the weapons.
I think he could complete more than 50% of his passes.
Ouch. Yeah, that's there. No, that makes more sense than the defensive comment
I agree
you made.
with that.
Hey, that's why we're moving. We're getting closer.
Yes,
growing forward.
That's true.
We're growing forward. Reason number 2. Dude, I'm not even gonna.
You're just
I'm
don't
not
even.
even
You
gonna,
can't even
I'm
fake
not,
it. To
well,
make it.
it's like similar to number 4.
Go ahead. I don't remember.
So it's just ridiculous.
I don't even know if I can.
Say it.
Why don't
put
it
it sit there?
Spencer Danielson has coached top 10, top 5 defenses in the past, and he can get us back on track.
That's better than number 4, but it shouldn't be number 2. That should be number 4.
He didn't become a horrible coach overnight. Something's not working. I'm going to trust that it's going to get marginally better. It can't get worse. And if our offense gets Holani back, we get Mad Dog throwing the ball.
Get worse.
It can't get worse.
What's worse?
We're playing the Mountain West teams now, dude. How much worse could it get?
It could get worse.
It can't get. It can't get very much worse.
It shouldn't get worse.
So
I would be surprised if it got worse.
We're not. This year's team defense will not be a top whatever.
Will we ever hold a team to like 300 yards or less?
Dude, no. But if we can be marginally better at the off, no, we're not. Not this defense. Marginally better, and then we use those weapons. We can.
I think what's hilarious is when they have the ball and they're driving for an important
it's
point
layover.
It's just like, okay, they're gonna score. How much time are we gonna have left?
Yeah.
It's like literally we can't.
Well, that was
stop.
one of the questions at the end. Was should we let them score?
They got over the 50. Should we have just let them score?
Yeah.
So we had more time.
No, I think I texted that out. It's like let them score.
It's like let's get our offense back out there.
Yeah.
They can get marginally better, and then we're gonna have to outscore people.
All right, reason number 1.
You can't win a championship with a bad offense.
I changed it to get there, not win it.
Okay.
Because defense wins championships.
I know. It's just like the hard part is
bad defense.
You have bad games. Your offense has bad games, and if you
we've had plenty of those, so maybe they're out of the system.
Okay, yeah, that's a stupid.
Does anybody remember when we used to rush 3 and still get a sack?
Dude,
we can't. We got to stop going back to 11 years. We got to stop it.
Well, I don't even.
What's number 1?
If it was 11 years. We did it last year with Taylen, Andy. They got us there last year.
That's number 1.
That's number 1. We've been there before.
Andy didn't get us there last year.
Yeah,
Dirk?
we don't have Cutter.
Dirk?
Yeah, Dirk.
I think we can all
more credit at seeing what's going on before and after Dirk, the pre and the post Dirk.
But
didn't get enough credit.
Did Andy put Dirk in that spot though?
Oh, come on. Dirk was like, "Hey, I'm retired. I need to do something."
And then we rode Dirk for 8 weeks.
Insane. We rode him hard.
Dude.
Hey, if you agree with all my takes, this is a boring
That's
segment.
a good point.
Yeah.
That number 1 was one of the dumber ones. Number 1
okay.
and number 2 should have been number 4.
Okay.
Which was a legitimate thing.
Okay.
Number 2 probably should have been number 4. Yeah, I agree with that.
Your thoughts?
Yeah.
Can we get there? You too.
We can, yes.
Will we get there?
No.
Brandon says no.
No.
I've been saying yes.
Because the goal is still within reach.
It is.
How in reach is it?
When
I wouldn't bet on it. But
actually betting on it now may be a good idea. Our odds probably are.
Yeah.
They probably sound
You'd make some money. I don't think we're getting there.
I think it's healthy that we don't get there because we need to go into the season.
It didn't do us any good this season to get there last year.
Correct. We need to go into the season where all the coaches are like, they're not good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, because people keep picking us to win the Mountain West just because the Mountain West sucks. And I think it's good for them. Yeah, Fresno's a surprise.
They're playing at Wyoming on Fox this next
They
year.
just got
like
bumped
7
to the main
PM,
spot.
That'll be an interesting game. At Wyoming is not an easy game for anybody. I'm interested to see because Air Force and Fresno don't play. So I wonder if Wyoming can knock off Fresno. That's helpful.
Beat everybody up.
Because there's no way we beat Fresno and Air Force. We have to avoid loss to anyone other than those two. And then we have to split those. We have to either beat one of those. That's what it's going to take. I don't think we can lose 2 games and get there because Air Force and Fresno don't play each other. There's a loss that's not happening there. We can only afford 1 loss the rest of the way and make it there.
Okay. Well, then we're I think it's okay to not make it there and have the coaches say we're not very good, because that could build a chip back.
We need a chip badly.
If that's true.
Because there's nothing
Are
worse.
our guys too are they entitled?
I don't know, because how long can you say we have the weapons, we have the team, we're going to be good?
Well, extra motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Helps.
Dude, we haven't won since 2019. Like, these guys should be motivated. I mean, they only get so many games. Like, I don't know if motivation's the problem. Maybe off season. I don't know. It just seems like.
I think they're motivated.
I think they're motivated. That's what I'm saying. I don't think motivation's the problem.
But I don't know.
Just by whom?
It's not working.
Not working.
This Saturday, we have San Jose State at home. 7 p.m. kickoff?
7 p.m.
6, I think.
Oh, that's not bad.
I thought it was 6.
I'll check that.
Probably have to go to that one.
I will be out of town.
Oh.
I see. That's where we're at now. I think I have tickets to go.
Did you?
We're not sure if we're going to.
It is a 6 p.m.
give it to
6
me.
p.m. kickoff.
No, it's my dad's tickets, but it's my turn to
Did you
use
see
them
that?
with them. But
Did you see that Twitter post where the guy is like, it showed a picture of a car broken into? Did you see that?
Yes.
And he's like, hey, we're in Boise, and my sister-in-law had her car broken into. She had like 2 season tickets on the dash. Somebody broke into her car and left 3 more.
that's good. That's good.
It's so good. Though.
I
Sure.
don't even know if I'm going to be there. We might be McCall, but we might be there. If we're in town, we'll be
You
there.
know, if the weather's good and the weather's supposed to be good,
Should be good.
I think
Yeah,
we win.
it's kind of fun.
I mean, we have to win. We have to win.
We're 7-point
If
favorites,
we're
or we were. I don't know what it's at right now.
yeah, it's a good time to play a
San Jose's
team.
not horrible, though.
Sure, but it's a good time to play that team because, we can figure out some stuff. If we were playing UCF or Washington next week, we would be
Or
in a tough
Air
spot.
Force or Fresno, but we got to win. We're going to win, and we're going to cover the spread.
That's
Put it
Mark's
down.
prediction.
Yeah,
Brandon,
What do you
What's the
think?
score?
I still don't think we're way up in the. But I'll go.
I think if we,
I'll go 38-24.
if we win,
38-24.
well, that's a
38-24.
tall
Yeah, that's
order.
pretty up there.
If we win, we're going to be in the 40s. Put it down. We're not going to win a close scoring game.
It's a good point.
And they score 21.
So
think
you're
our
thinking
defense-
blowout.
I'm saying
What
like
just happened to
I'm
make
saying-
me think 38-24 and you think blowout? Are
I
we
think-
watching the same team here? What are we doing?
No, I think that I think if Mad Dog could come in, here's my one wild card. If Taylen is pouting and he hates his life and he's not motivated, then this year's we got to throw this year away.
Because he's got to be getting a lot of texts, right? Hearing a lot of stuff from the outside saying, you should be the guy, you should be the guy. And if he's not the guy.
If he feeds into that, sure. But I think if he's like, no, I'm going to use this time to get better. I'm going to just prove to everybody I can do it. And he does well and Mad Dog does well, then we're going to score a lot. If Taylen's like mad every time Mad Dog's in, if he's angry and then there's a division on the team, we're dead. We're all dead.
I just want
It
to.
could definitely go that way.
I just want it to be a game where we step on someone's throat.
When was the last time that happened?
I don't know.
I can't even remember.
Well,
Last
we'd have to go
year,
through
Nevada.
I'm sure
Because
it's
if
They've
it's
lost
just
15 in a
if it's just a hang around, we get it done. Yes, I'll take a win.
Yeah, at this point.
But
yes, that would be nice. I agree. But at this point, get a win. We got 2 games and then a bye week.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, we got San Jose State.
And then Colorado State.
Colorado State at Colorado State.
That's no gimme.
That's the 14th. Then we got a bye, and then we're back at home against Wyoming on the 28th.
This is
Yeah.
going to be a
The
dumb
game
question.
I called that we lost.
Wait,
Yeah.
what's the score prediction
Dude,
for
we
you,
were
Matt?
laughing about that.
It's interesting because you said our defense can hold them to 21 points.
I said 24, and I don't know, man.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm-
last week? Oh,
No,
this week.
this week. I'm guessing Memphis is better than San Jose State. So, yeah, it's possible we hold them to 21. I will say, I'll say 30. What did you say? I don't want to say
42 to 17.
What-
38-24.
I was going to say 34-21.
That
Yeah,
works.
that's a good
So
score.
34-21.
Yeah, that's probably a very realistic score.
35. Let's make it even score. We'll score
okay.
5 touchdowns. 35-21.
I still am a little upset about no hot punishments being doled out to any of us.
Who
That's something
owes?
that
I owe.
I think we all owe.
I said-
I think we all.
Better notes.
One hot punishment that was suggested was we do an episode in the cold, like a polar episode from Myers.
Ouch.
Ooh. Like all three of us, or just one guy
With-
outside
in the shirt?
the cold?
Skins.
In the shirt, in skins.
Skins episode outside in the cold.
Okay. Yeah, I would do that. We just need to throw something out to make us do a hot punishment. There needs to be a hot take.
about that.
What about a hot reward? I mean, come on. If you put
like
your
a
Maybe
hot
like
and
a
ready
spa?
from Little Caesars. Hot and ready for a hot reward.
hey, Little Caesars just went in.
Yeah, right here.
Just down
on
the street.
Linder.
All right, there you go. You get a hot and ready, or you get a hot punishment.
So
That's it. The hot and ready is supposed to be a good thing.
You know,
I mean,
it's all punishment.
What are you talking about?
Maybe crazy bread.
we'll get
Legitimately crazy
you
bread.
some
pretty good.
marinara sauce to dip. There's a little reward there.
Yeah.
Have we made any bold takes that are worthy enough for a hot punishment this episode?
We need
Taylen?
to have a segment.
Dude.
That's a hot take. We need to have a hot take segment.
About past hot takes?
Just hot takes that you put out there.
Oh, okay.
You're just throwing out hot takes,
Okay.
rapid style.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Let's get a win.